than you have against Wisconsin in your career? Given you played, signed up to play in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's something I probably didn't think it would be happening, but knowing I've been here for 5 years and played them 5 times now, it's kind of cool just knowing the rivalry that Iowa State has. So from that standpoint, it's pretty special. But Wisconsin, like always has a different feeling to the game. Knowing my brothers played there and pretty much growing up on that court and going to every single one of their home games and experiencing all the adventures that they did in their respective college career. So that arena especially has a special part of me.
Do you get up for this game more? I mean, I know it's a cliche, but is this one where you kind of like Iowa State, where you circle it a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a school that overlooked me and a place that I saw myself at. Obviously, I wanted to go to Iowa, and that was a school I dreamed of playing. This was a school I dreamed of playing at, but also Wisconsin was right there with, seeing myself being, wearing a Wisconsin jersey, my brothers played there. So that school is, like I said, it has always been a part of me. I have respect for that entire coaching staff and, everything that my brothers went through with Coach Ryan and Coach Gard and Coach Close just down the line, and from that whole staff, it's mutual respect from our family to theirs, and helped them out immensely to grow into the men that they are now, that my brothers are. So there's definitely a different feeling to this game, and I'm always looking forward to going to the Kohl Center and kind of revisiting those experiences that I had as a little kid.
John Doxey.
Yeah, Jordan, I want to ask you about Dimitry, Trice. I think I read somewhere that two of you have played in more games than anybody else in college basketball right now. And you've had similar careers too. You're both fifth-year seniors who've battled injuries. Just talk a little bit about him and what kind of a matchup it is with you and he.
Yeah, I do want to make it known that he is older than me, so I'm not older than him. He's the elder statesman, not me. But me and him go way back. I mean, we're pretty close friends. We've talked to each other on the phone before, text each other back and forth, and I've been interacting on social media a bunch of times. So he's definitely someone that I've grown close to, just because I played against him on the AU circuit, played against him, in college, and we've kind of experienced kind of the same pathway, I guess you could say, with him experiencing injuries and working through it and coming back for a year, and then myself going through injuries the last couple of years. So we have a lot in common, and how he plays is a lot of respect from myself, because he plays the right way and really leads that Wisconsin team, and I know there's mutual respect from him as well.
Tom Kakert.
Jordan, I got kind of a twofold question for you. First, where does the three you hit as your freshman year, where does that rank on your kind of hit list? And how many games have you seen at the Kohl Center? Do you have any idea how many you've been to?
Well, to touch on the first part of the question, that shot is definitely, close to being number one. In my most proud moments, I guess you could say, at Iowa, just because the rich history that my family has with Wisconsin, and just all the experiences I had. And that kind of goes right into your second question, how many games I've watched. I can't even count. Thinking about my brother Jason playing there, and from freshman to senior year, I don't think I missed maybe a handful of home games. I traveled to a lot of games too as well, so I was right there with his experiences at Wisconsin, and seeing the Kohl Center have a full. When Jason was there, it was a sellout every game, and that was unreal to see from my point of view, because Jason was the first one in our family to play college basketball, and to experience that at a whole nother level as a little kid is something that definitely gave me an advantage on a lot of guys, getting to the big stage. So, it's kind of crazy thinking back at all the games I've watched at Kohl Center, because it's, I've been here for 5 years at Iowa, but it's probably inching on the amount of games I experienced at the Kohl Center, that's for sure.
Chad Leistikow.
Hey, man, what can you tell me? Maybe you have to reach back in your memory bank here, but after your third grade year, you go to stay with your oldest brother up there for a summer camp, and I heard you tore it up there as the littlest kid on the court. What can you tell me about that?
That was a blast. I stayed with my brother in his apartment, and just experienced obviously I was a really young kid, so I didn't experience the full force of college life, but I've experienced some part of it, and that was really cool. That's a memory that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, because I was around all these guys that were my heroes to me, and all these guys that I grew up wanting to be when I'm older, and seeing them just on a personal level kind of put them into a human being perspective, and just having a daily conversation with them, and them trying to get me to be a better basketball player. And I believe I ended up winning MVP of that entire camp as well. So that was really cool and special to have this Iowa kid that the brothers on the team and just came out of nowhere and just be MVP of the entire camp, and that was really cool. But I experienced a lot of cool things being able to travel, and going to that camp is definitely top 5 of experiences I made, just because of that, all those role models that I saw on a personal level.
Any other questions for Jordan?
I'll just follow up and ask, this is your last trip to the Kohl Center, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. There's nothing. It would take a lot for me to come back for another year, and I don't think a schedule's released for next year to play at Kohl Center or not. But yeah, this is planning to be the last year playing at the Kohl Center.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead, Mike Loss.
You mentioned at the top of this interview that Wisconsin overlooked you, and you've said that before. Take us back. I mean, you had 2 brothers who played there. Their family reputation certainly had to be golden there. Why did not Wisconsin not make more of an effort for you?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Coach Ryan recruited me a little bit, and then there was a fallout. He ended up retiring, and I don't think there just really was mutual interest with the staff that was taking over with myself, seeing being a point guard to go to Wisconsin. And I mean, it was kind of the same story with a lot of mid to high level programs in the entire country. They just thought I wasn't talented and skilled enough to play at this level. And I mean, there's a handful of coaches around, and Coach McCaffrey was one of the few in the entire country that really had that confidence in me, that I knew I had that confidence in myself as well, and that mutual kind of energy that we both brought for my game to play here at Iowa was really appealing, obviously, because this was my dream school and I wanted to play here. And I kind of used that, that motivation from a lot of these schools overlooking me to really excel at this next level, and that was just something I fed off going forward.
So what would it have taken for you to have gone to Wisconsin instead of Iowa? I mean, when you say Iowa was your dream school and that Fran was, very much interested in you, was Wisconsin a reality?
Yeah, I mean, it would take about $20,000 in a McDonald's bag for me to go to Wisconsin. But no, it was mutual respect from the coaches from Wisconsin. I love Coach Ryan. I remember being in his office when Jason was getting recruited by him, and all the jokes he was telling and all the amazing stories he had of being a coach at Wisconsin. It was really cool to be at that first personal level with all these coaches, and Coach Moore, Coach Close, Coach Guard, all these guys that are I'm still really close with just because of my brothers. And it just didn't work out, and I knew that if I wanted to, I mean, it was kind of early on in my recruiting process. I kind of figured I wasn't even going to be looked at by them anymore my senior year, and that was finally when I played well enough for Iowa to finally look at me, and end up finally working out.
How many 3-pointers? I'm sorry, one more quickie. Do you know off the top of your head how many 3-pointers the 4 Bohannon brothers made?
Well, Zach brought that percentage down, that's for sure.
All right, Don. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, Jordan, you're 13 assists away from Jeff Horner's record, and Luka, I think, is 43 points away from Marble's record. Have you guys thought at all or talked at all about the possibility of doing it in the same game, maybe and conceivably even on the same play?
Yeah, that'd be really cool to have both those records be taken by our names in the same play. That'd be kind of, you can't really write a better story than that. But we haven't really talked about our personal accolades. It's always been about the team, and we know that as long as we're winning, that our personal accolades are going to come, after that. And I think that's what's been so special about, Luka and myself especially, and, Joe Wieskamp as well. As records, break here or there as our careers go, it's always, the main focus is getting a win, and that's what's so special about this team. And I know that's a cliche answer for you, but I mean, it's the truth on, how our personalities are and how everyone's character is in that locker room. That's what makes it so much fun to, play with the guys like Luka and him being the National Player of the Year, and, us being so close to these, big time records at Iowa. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter to us.
Josh Christensen.
Hey, Jordan, this sort of is on the same lines as Mike's question, but I guess as a kid growing up watching Jason play at the Kohl Center, did you even think in your head at that time, or can you recall any other time you think, boy, it would be really cool to play in this building?
Oh, for sure. I thought about that, every day. I wore Wisconsin jerseys to school. I had all these basketball cards of these Wisconsin basketball players, always on me, and, people asking for my brother's autograph on these basketball cards that were close friends of mine. Like, it was always about Wisconsin when I was older, and obviously I was always in the back of my mind just because my dad playing there, and, finally the future worked out. But it was always Wisconsin in my mind just because of how I grew up. I was a Wisconsin fan. I was other schools fan as well, but Wisconsin was the main school I was always looking at, always cheering on, always wanting to play at, just because, like my brothers were there. And, it's cool looking back because that kind of raised me into the competitor I am, and, continuing to have that chip on my shoulder of, all these guys that overlooked me. So I think that's been the most cool thing of it all.